Patrick Ta is simply misunderstood. And you're going to find out why today with me, Rebecca. I'm a 20-plus year veteran of fashion and beauty journalism. As an editor, I have worked with some of the biggest names in the business, and I have started Not Fit for Print Beauty here for you to have a sort of beauty magazine that you can flip through every day or so here on YouTube. Yeah, Patrick Ta is misunderstood. The man is a genius, and if you haven't liked some of his products, I'm going to tell you that you've just been using them wrong. Doesn't mean you have to agree with me, but I want to talk about it today, and we're actually going to do a complete full face of Patrick Ta to achieve the look we have going here. Patrick Ta is a self-made man. He was born in San Diego and moved to Arizona. He actually owned and operated a tanning salon that filed for bankruptcy and went out of business. Just like every other success story I so often hear, there's failures in and along that. Failures that might knock someone like me out of the game, but Patrick Ta kept going. He worked at the Mac counter and honed his skills there. The reason I did that is such a common thread among makeup artists and is Mac. You know, Mac really does bring everyone together. They have just really lent themselves to the careers of so many makeup artists. And he found himself in Los Angeles working with celebrities, and well, the rest is history. Patrick Ta is known now with his own makeup brand, though he has definitely shilled for so many bigger brands. With his own brand, he is really known for that interplay between powder and cream, and I think that's where his genius lies. He has a definitive way of applying these products, generally powder with cream over the top, which is not the order that most of us learn to do that in. We usually set the cream with powder. He has a different way of using the cream that helps the powder melt into the skin. And sometimes I feel when people complain about that, it is simply user error. I am certainly not the most skilled among us. In fact, I've never claimed to be, but I still think we can all learn a bit about what we're doing. And I hesitate to complain about something when I'm not quite sure what it is, Kind of like saying that you don't like jazz music because it doesn't sound right to you. Maybe you just don't understand what you're listening to, and I'm going to say the same with Patrick Ta. I want to go through some of his products today while we do this full face that I think are absolute winners, some which are entirely misunderstood, including his brand new highlighter. I think the haters for the highlighter have misunderstood it. Give me a chance. You can argue with me. You can disagree. I don't mind, but at least hear my side first, and then I'm happy to hear your side, okay? And then I also have what I do think are some complete failures from the brand. Not every brand can do this. So these are going to be my favorites, the worst, so the best, the worst, and some that I think could be the best if only we all use them the way Patrick Ta intended. So I am thrilled to have you here. Every product that I discuss is going to be available for you to just check out. You don't have to buy, but you can take a look at them or buy them. They'll be in two ways, down below in the description bar, and also we're available up here on the screen with this YouTube shopping. Sometimes we can't get all the products in YouTube shopping, but those that I can will be there, and you can click while watching the video and shop, at least if you're in the US right now, but it's being tested throughout the world, so that's coming soon. You can also go down in our description bar and have all sorts of great information on how to join our membership here on YouTube. I lead that with weekly lives. We got a freebie cool Facebook page that Helen is running for our entire community to chat about makeup and issues like this. We'd love to see you there, and I would love to have you subscribe. Let's go into detail now with a true full face, nothing but Patrick Ta, and let's talk about why it is I feel as a makeup artist and makeup creator, poor Patrick Ta is completely misunderstood. It's actually rare that I can truly do a full face, like brows, lip liner, eyeliner. I can truly do a full face here. So like I always say, all I have on is some skincare. I do have some SPF. I've had it on for about an hour though, so almost like nothing on my face in terms of makeup, nothing. And we're gonna go for it here. I guess Patrick Ta doesn't have a concealer, but we're gonna start by using his Complexion product. This is in the shade Light 3, And as all Patrick Ta products do, it has both a cream and a powder. Now, Patrick Ta's interplay between the cream and the powder product is kind of what this video is about. And generally, he prefers the cream over the powder. But certainly with this complexion product, we're going to do it the opposite. And we're going to put it on rather lightly. Let me show you. This is the shade Light 3. And all the information on the product will be underneath. All of these have had individual reviews. I can't believe it, but they have. So I'm not going to go into them too much. We're just going to put it on and talk about it. I think this is a product of Patrick Ta's. This is the cream that I'm putting on right now, you guys. And I'm not wearing it very heavily. This is a product that I think is a success. The only reason that you would not find this a success is if you don't enjoy anything even slightly fussy. And I will admit to you that a lot of Patrick Ta's products, because of that need for the interplay between powder and cream, can be seen as a little bit fussy and a little bit editorial. There is a certain look that Patrick Ta prefers, and it is glowy and natural, and he just loves that kind of ethereal skin look. And if you don't like it, then you kind of shouldn't be shopping Patrick Ta. And I'm not saying that rudely, because I don't always like it, so I don't always wear Patrick Ta. But at least I kind of know that. Okay, I'm going to actually take the same brush I was using, I don't care, and I'm just going to go into the powder, and I'm just going to set, I'm not going to set the whole thing, because we got a lot more products that also use powder and cream. So I'm just going to kind of set in the areas that I think need it a little bit, in the T-zone and such, and kind of around there, because we're going to continue on. And I just did it very quickly. I made use of the matching powder and the cream. Let me take a look here. Okay, so far, so good. And that kind of worked as my concealer as well. And it set a nice base, and I powdered it down just a very little bit. But I do think that's a very good product. I think as far as cream foundations go, as long as you can find your shade, it's a pretty one. I love that it comes with the matching powder, and I just use the powder on the T-zone, under the eyes, and around the nose. Now I can go ahead and set my brow. This is the Patrick Ta brow setting gel. You know, it's not bad. I have the clear. This is one of those kind of what I'm calling slightly not really significant Patrick Ta products. It does work. He likes the laminated brow look. It's one that if you don't have in your collection, you won't really miss. But I mean, it does work, and I'm not even filling in my brows. I could, but I'm not. I'm just gonna take this clear product and just kind of put the brows up with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But like I said, I can clearly do a full face. Let me use the back side of the brush there, and we'll laminate it a little bit. A while ago, when I did my, not a while ago, not that long ago, when I did my review of the Charlotte Tilbury new foundation, that's kind of a skin tint, it's called Glowing. And a lot of people said, I hate this product, it's glowing. So I can see hating a product because it sinks into your pores. I can see hating a product because it emphasizes fine lines. But to hate a product that claims to be glowing because it is too glowing seems just like you're ordering the wrong, don't order the tuna salad at lunch if you don't like tuna. Okay, so with Patrick Ta, you've got to love this slightly fussy interplay between cream and powder. Okay, and I admit that. That doesn't mean that I don't have some products from Patrick Ta that I think failed, and we'll get to those. But right now I'm just telling you the brow product, it's good, but it's just completing the line. But I do think that this foundation is actually quite pretty. All right, let's continue on and let's do some bronzer. This is the shade She's Sculpted in the Patrick Ta bronzer. And yet again, surprise, surprise, this is bronzer and contour. We have both powder and we have cream. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the cream. I'm just going to go ahead and use the brush that we used for the foundation, because this is cream, and I'm just going to put the cream first. And yes, I'm going to put a little bit of powder over the cream. I'm not contouring, I'm just kind of warming up the skin. Now again, the Patrick Ta method, and we'll employ it a little bit more when we get to the blushes and highlighters, is generally actually the cream over the powder. But because I'm not doing a really kind of firm contour look, I just want to do something rather quickly. Now I'm going to take, that was my brush falling there. Now I'm going to go into the powder and go to town just a little bit more. And again, I'm just trying to give my skin a little bit of color. That's all. Okay, and that is his powder. And I'm doing it in my own inimitable, super quick style, but that should look, it should look like a nice summer glow. When you are wearing a full face of Patrick Ta, you are indeed wearing a lot of makeup. And I don't think Patrick Ta would deny that. He does celebrity looks, he does red carpet looks, he does editorial looks. So, you know, you have to make sure you're fishing in the right waters, if that makes sense. And that's what I think makes him misunderstood. But the way he combines powder and cream is, I think, and I've said this, ingenious. Okay, how about highlighter and blush? Well, these are the star products from Patrick Ta, especially these blush duos. I think they come in like 12 shades now. Some of them a little too crazy, but then he recently released some that were like just enough and not so much, and they were just really pretty shades. So he has everywhere from bold to really kind of gentle and subtle, and everywhere in between. And he has colors that will suit any skin tone. Bless him for that. These are $38. This is really where, more so than anything, though you could do this in any order that you choose, this is really where I think his interplay of powder and cream really comes into focus. And this is where the cream over the powder is really, I think, the way to do this. So let's apply the powder first. And this is the shade, if you're wondering, She's Flushed. I like to call this the Ta flap. That is this plastic flap that keeps the powder and the cream separate. And as I always say, I do know that others use it. I do know, in fact, that Natasha Denona might have even done it first, but Ta flap has a nice ring to it. I once was using the term Ta flap and someone said, Natasha Denona did it first. And I said, yeah, well, yeah, but Denona flap doesn't sound good. Ta flap sounds great. And I have this goal, you guys, this is just the powder and She's Flushed. I have this goal that one day I'll get Patrick Ta to say it, and then I'll feel like I'll feel so good. Okay, I'm gonna use the same Refer brush and just dot it into the cream, and I want you to see the way it brings the powder to life. I'm just dotting. You could use, sometimes Patrick Ta uses his fingers. I do wash my hands, don't worry, but I like to use the warmth of my hands to kind of melt that in. And the way that take that out, Rebecca. The way that cream just melts the powder and the cream together and kind of seals it, and it's not sticky. If you do it right, it's not sticky. And look at how my skin is kind of already coming to life. Now, I admit that personally, I don't like the really bright, crazy shades in Patrick Ta's blush, but nobody's forcing me to use those bright shades, so it's okay, right? Okay, now the highlighters. Now, I think the highlighters really belong firmly in the misunderstood category. I did my review of these. This is the shade Sugar. I did my review of these, and I did mine a little early on, and I know a lot of people afterwards gave their reviews and they didn't love it. A lot of people didn't like the cream product. I think you're using a little too much. Some people wanted to do the powder only, and when they did the powder only, they were saying it's a little bit sparkly. But I really feel, I'm just going to stick it on here, guys. Now, I'm not overdoing this because I'm really making a look that will work for me today. I'm not overdoing it. I've already reviewed these and overdone them to show you the shades. We're just putting together a look today. I just want to show you that on its own, yeah, this can be a little bit blingy. But when you take this cream and just kind of dot it on, just a little bit goes a long way. You can use a sponge. I actually like a sponge, but I forgot to bring my sponge over. And Patrick Ta uses his fingers. I am not pulling the skin. I'm just tapping. Just use it the right way. Now, I am not a makeup artist. We know this. I'm an editor. And I interview makeup artists. I've never interviewed Patrick Ta. That would be fun. But I admit, I've never interviewed him. But I learn a lot. But I'm not perfect. But I'm telling you, a lot of people who hate these products, it is user error. Teeny bit of the balm just to soak in. Try to use yours differently. If you hate your Patrick Ta products, I think you're not understanding them. And I'm not attacking anyone. I promise I'm not. There's room for all of our opinions. But I kind of think it's user error. Look at this. I'm not sticky. And is this cream sticky? Yeah, it is. But I'm taking just a little bit and touching it on, or use a sponge your fingers right on top of that sparkly highlighter. It calms it down and it makes for a very pretty look. My skin looks really perfected, I think, okay? Now let's move on here. I'm not saying that I don't have any products that I think are a little bit of a failure from Patrick Ta. I do. Let's talk about some, here's one that I don't think is the best. Here's one of his lip liners. I think this is what I would put in the insignificant category, but let's put it on. I do like the shape of it. It is definitely waxy. I like the shape of it a lot. And it definitely holds in the product, but I don't love the shades. Early on in his makeup line, he had a lot of shades that were really kind of like tan neutrals. They weren't my favorite. Of his lip products, his lipsticks, glosses, these most recent kind of gel glosses are the prettiest. And this one is called Full Syringe, which I kind of like. These are pretty. Are there others on the market that are better? Yeah. I'm not lying to you here. I really think that the greatest contribution that Patrick Ta has are these dual blushes, the dual highlighters, and all of these, and including the bronzer and all of these, powder cream products. I think these liners and the lip glosses, they complete the line, but I don't think you're missing anything. I just think that if you dislike the others, you're wrong. I really think that. Okay, let's talk about some eyes right now. We have the Complexion, very quickly and easily done. And here I said, these are fussy products, and look how quickly we've gone. Eyeshadows. I am not a huge fan of the all matte Patrick Ta, but that's not because it's bad. They're nice and creamy. I just don't like all matte shadows. My favorite, and I think it is definitely has a lot of merits, is the Major Dimension 2 Rose Eyeshadow Palette, which is $70, and it has, again, some creams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up here, the Ta flap, as I like to call it, and I'm just going to bathe the eye in this rose shade here. And now that I've done that, just stay with me here. Trust the process, guys. Trust the process. Now I'm going to take some Rephr brushes, and I'm just going to go over. I'm going to close the Ta flap, and I'm going to go over with some of these other shades and just kind of lighten it and set it. So again, you don't always have to do cream over powder. Patrick Ta might have one method. He knows you're going to have another. And I like to lighten inside too. Stay with me here. Trust my process. Okay. Taking this brush here, going into this shade right here, just gently underneath. This is actually great fun, guys. This is that combination of cream and powder. And I think it works. Now, I'm going to go in with this shade here. Same brush. Just to lay it down there. Oh, so pretty. Some on the inside. Ah, we're coming together. We're coming together. It's looking like we might need a little more blush to even this out, but let's use one of the other kind of incidental bits from Patrick Ta's collection, which is his eyeliner. They're not bad at all. I don't notice either way, so let me do that really quickly. I'll speed it up. And that's a shame. That one did not age well at all. I had to really keep getting it started on my hand, and I don't think it's made enough of an impact on the eye. So it's been a while on that one. We'll stick that in a category. Now, the Patrick Ta mascara, let me curl my eyelashes here, has been, it's okay. It's not great. It's not bad. He's got a lot of kind of these incidental products. We haven't gotten to what I do think are the failures. And I'm a big fan of Patrick Ta, obviously. But like I said, I can be objective. Here is the Patrick Ta mascara, which I like, but I've never really quite loved. But let me just show you it on. And I'll speed this up. I think it had a nice volumizing effect with this eye look though. So I'm really pleased with that. Now I made a little bit of a, got a little bit of it on the eye, just let it dry, and then take a spoolie and go right over it. I'll let that dry a little more. Brushing through that there, just holding the eyes nicely. As I said, I think we need a little bit more blush as I look at this look. So we're gonna take that, and I'll just go in now on top with just the powder, just to add a little bit more color on there. I don't think we need any more. I don't think we need any more of the cream. And we have a full look of Patrick Ta that is, yeah, it's a little bit editorial and a little bit, for me, kind of wild, but it's very pretty and rosy. We used, again, the products that are my favorite from him, which are these dual blushes and the dual highlighters, which are that really pretty combination of powder and cream. The eyes especially, but this one is my favorite, this rosy combination. And then some incidental products. The lip liners, the lip glosses, they're all right. They kind of get a C marking from me. And the mascara, they're all very pretty. And I forgot how much I do kind of like this mascara, but it's not one I often reach for. I don't think those are his strong points. Now, I did promise you that I would have, well, a few fails, I admit that. And we have taken our eyeliner from incidental to fail. That's just not working on the eyes at all. But there are a few, I think, and you can disagree with me, solid fails. Early on, Patrick Ta has some body glow products that I was not impressed with. I have them over there and just didn't bring them over. I was not impressed with those. He had this, he says, is a bestseller. This is the body balm, and I think this is disgusting. It all moved to one side and arrived to me like this. It has a cloyingly sweet smell, and it is sticky and gross. Now you'll say to me, Rebecca, you said we shouldn't say that about the cream in his highlighter palette, for instance. I did, but in this, it's the blob, and I don't enjoy it. I think it's personally a fail. You may disagree with me. And the other thing is the mystery Patrick Ta product. What is the mystery Patrick Ta product? These were these kind of eye glitters, and they were on the market. They were on Sephora and on the Patrick Ta website, and I ordered them and they came, and they are truly, truly just a glitter. They have like a salt shaker here, and they are just loose glitter. Like you could go to Michael's craft store if you're here in North America and just buy some glitter. That's all it is. But interestingly enough, this is the mystery Patrick Ta product. I bought it. It sat for about a week in my little stash to get reviewed because people didn't seem that excited about it. And then when I went to review it and went to list it, it wasn't even on Sephora or the Patrick Ta website. It's almost like the brand was like, yeah. They almost admitted failure to that really quickly and pulled it, which is either funny or sad. I don't really know. The main thing I want you to take from this video is to see, A, they're not that fussy after all. I use them. You don't have to feel like a master. Some of them I used cream over powder, some powder over cream, some powder, cream powder. you can really do whatever, wherever your imagination takes you, you can do whatever you want. They're not that fussy, but the interplay of cream and powder I think is real. And I feel, especially these new highlighters, if you're not enjoying them, I think you're probably not giving them enough of a chance. Honestly, guys, just a little bit of that cream over the glittery highlighter, and I think you'll change your mind. At least try it for me, okay? I would love if you would. I'm not saying they're all perfect, but I do think Patrick Ta has a certain type of genius about him that is undeniable, and I would love for everybody to get on board with that, as well as calling it the Ta flap. That is definitely a Ta flap, right there. All right, this is where you come in, and this is what makes us a community. I'd love to know your thoughts, what you love about Patrick Ta, what you hate, what maybe you disagree with me. I love the dialogue, you guys. I am not just sitting up here on screen barking at you and you have to agree. Not at all. We're all respectful to each other in this comment section. Pick a fight. As long as it's polite, I'm really happy to hear your side of it, and probably might even tell you that you win some of those points, you know? I'm not embarrassed to say it. Like I said, that's what makes us a community. So tell me your thoughts, what you love and hate, frankly, about Patrick Ta. And if you think there is no merit to the Icky Sticky Cream, you go ahead and you tell me. There's nothing that makes me or you more right than one another. I would love to know that. Make sure that you subscribe and like and share. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.